Welcome back to your Intuitive Wellness Toolbox and my experience with an osteopath. So keep in mind that my experience will be different than yours. Again, this is also my experience. I have no relation to any of these people. This is totally my opinion. And by no means am I a doctor or a medical practitioner. So please, grain of salt, take what you want, leave the rest. I will not have all the information perfect, solely based on my experience. I also have a fair amount of pelvic issues, and so again, my experience may be different than yours. I have seen 2 different osteopaths over my career as a patient, and both have treated me fairly similar. So, goes to show you they aren't doing anything wacky or wild. This is a really interesting treatment because it is one of those non-invasive manual therapies, and it treats your musculoskeletal system, like that whole framework of your body, and it treats joints, muscles, spine, and it can also affect your nervous system, your circulatory system, your lymphatic system. I found this really fun quote that relates why you would have osteo treatment to a house. If your foundation is crooked, I'm reading it. If your foundation is crooked, what does that do to the electrical, your nerves, the plumbing, your lymph, and all those other systems? You need an aligned structure, an aligned foundation to keep your house standing, or to keep your structure self-regulating and self-healing. So as we've discussed in some previous videos, when your system's a little bit out of alignment, you get that excessive inflammation, because again, inflammation is a healing tool. So your body's trying to heal things that maybe don't need to be healed or don't need to be healed that same way. So you're kind of in like hyper overdrive. So the treatment can vary depending. Most of my treatments, as I said, have been for like pelvic alignment and my body just being crooked, which to be honest, I didn't even know was a thing that could happen. But basically, like, say my hips sit like this, my shoulders sit like this, my head sits like this, because your body is always attempting to be straight. We aren't cool like trees. We don't just like follow whatever and do our thing and we're cool. Our body's always trying to self-regulate and straighten us out. So this can start from your feet up, head down, however you prefer to look at the body. If one thing's off or twisted, everything else starts to twist in an attempt to, again, like I said, self-regulate and even out. So from the perspective of my pelvis, and again, I want to mention that because this is kind of one of those like deeper manual treatments, you need to be open to being like manipulated in areas that sometimes you're not touched in, like that sacrum area. I have had treatments done to like my pubic bone, all external, clarify that. And then, you know, that chest, head, I've had fingers in my ears. I just, you know, want to let you know what you're in for. So if anything like that makes you uncomfortable, you have to be, you know, with your own boundaries and tell the practitioner that. But these are all different areas that connect, and they're all different areas that help with the alignment and stuff like that. Again, when you're there getting the treatment, sometimes you're wondering like, are you doing anything? Because I've had, you know, they place a hand at your low back and it just sits there like this. And like you're half an hour of this, and like they move a finger, and then they move a finger. And then maybe they push on your hip, and then they move a finger, and again, and then they just sit there, and you sit there or you lay there, and you're like, okay, anything, what you doing? But you just let it happen because you ideally trust your practitioner. And then they come and then again they move, and next thing you know you got hands in the back of your head, and again they sit there for half an hour and they move a finger and then another finger. And then they twist your head one way and put it back, and the hands go back. And then you twist your head the other way, and then the hands go back, and then the hand sits here and it pushes. And you're like, okay, gonna do anything to me? And I'm not making fun of the practice because I found it really beneficial. But I just want you to know it might not be as labor intensive as a massage. It won't be as, I don't want to use the word aggressive, but in comparison, like it won't be that like body manipulation, that full body weight manipulation like chiropractic would be. It's kind of slow, but it's happening, things are moving. I also want to preface that myself personally, because they are treating your whole skeletal system and muscles and joints and sometimes nerves and sometimes organs, you can feel ill. I felt ill after, I felt ill right after, or in most cases the following day. I feel like I have a flu. I just, that flu feeling, right? You're stuffy, everything's achy, you're just a little bit sore. So if you can, if it's an option for you, I'd recommend doing it at the end of the day, maybe before a weekend or before you could take some time to like rest and relax. Another great option afterwards is to do a sauna. I thought that was really helpful. I know I'm going like totally off course, just telling you all the things. But so I don't know, personally, it's something I've never really heard of before. So, like I said, something I still can't explain, but it helps. I can start to feel like a pinching and a pulling in my hip, and I can start to feel that like misalignment, that extra pulling, and getting that treatment to just kind of like lengthen things out, or even as my neck and my like shoulders start to tighten, everything starts to loosen and relax. Like I said, I have other family members who have done it for the fluid retention that they have, and it significantly decreases inflamed legs, ankles, feet. So that's a great option as well. I don't know what else to tell you. It's pretty simple. I think it's awesome. I highly recommend you try it. They are also few and far between, so you might have a really hard time getting an appointment, just so you know. And as always, if you don't like someone, go to someone else. I can't say that enough. Please always give it a shot. If you try and you have one person and you're like, that didn't do it for me, there are so many other options. Try again. If you have any questions, if you have any questions specific to this treatment or any other treatments I've talked about, you could leave them below. We could talk more about them. Or you can always email me with questions as well. I'm here to help you and happy to share what I've been through. So with that, I think that's all I have to tell you. Yeah, so we'll talk on the next one.